Good evening, Brownsville. Welcome to our Saturday late night special. We will be going over the results from election 2025. To us nerds, this is like the Super Bowl. The candidates have been making their case as to why they should be our next representatives on the city commission. The third time that voters will be deciding whether Cameron County has its arena and also Starbase. Starbase is on the agenda. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the day that we've all been waiting for. Today, we should have a better idea of how the city of Brownsville will be looking. We have very, very important races on today's ballot. NBC News was here. Hey, we're trying. We're trying our best. Make sure, again, welcome. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Frankie Olivo. This is Good Morning Brownsville. Usually we come on every day, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. But today is election day, the day that we've all been waiting for. We've been talking and coming on before you day after day and talking about the important issues that affect us here locally. We take great pride in presenting you information, black and white. We try to stay away from the gray area. We want you, the viewer, to ultimately decide what is best for you and your family in regards to many different topics. Thank you so much for tuning in. The polls are just closed at 7 p.m. We do anticipate early voting results to be released at 7:15. Usually, Cameron County elections they do take time. Whenever we're talking about a county race, early voting results usually take up to 30 an hour, possibly even more. With the early voting numbers that have been very low, we anticipate the Cameron County Elections Department to release the early voting numbers at 7:15. So again, we're anxiously waiting for these numbers, and let's get right to it. Let's talk about the issues right before we get the results. Starbase. Are we starting to see how the world's richest man is getting his own community, is getting his own legislation in Austin that's going to give him free reign? Austin ultimately came through for Elon Musk and Starbase. Currently, right now on the ballot, the only ones that are able to vote for the incorporation of Starbase is the residents that live at Boca Chica Village. You're talking about 200 to possibly 400 people deciding the fate of our region, of our area, in a community with over 200 citizens. Makes you kind of scratch your head and think, is this really real? So again, we will be waiting for the news. We anticipate that Starbase will be its own entity, its own community, distancing itself from the city of Brownsville. Rodriguez says De Los Santos runoff against De Leon. Rodriguez in a runoff against Pedro, and no arena. Starbase is passing, no big surprise. De Los Santos and De Leon, they're two different races. Michael Rodriguez against Pedro. And no arena. So that is Rodriguez's prediction. Ms. Perez, I have prayed for a positive result with majority voted against the arena. Positive results for the commissioners who will work for we the people. Again, we are 8 minutes away from the release of early voting. We anticipate Starbase becoming its own community. It's kind of hard for the world's richest man not to get what he wants. The arena, the very controversial arena, is third time the charm. Are we finally gonna see economic development, as our Cameron County judge has stated? For the third time, Cameron County voters will decide whether in Northern Brownsville, District 4, we will have a Cameron County arena. Many questions have been raised. Many people, many concerned citizens have raised red flags and said we do not have the proper data in front of us. to vote for this? What would have happened if for the third time the citizens of Brownsville came out to vote? I apologize. The citizens of Cameron County came out to vote against the arena. What do the politicians do? Would it be a slap in our face if they come back for a fourth time if this doesn't pass? Very, very interesting. Many people have been very, very vocal. We have heard from individuals in northern Cameron County. You're talking Harlingen, San Benito, Port Isabel, La Feria, who have said, no, fix our roads, fix our drainage, fix our infrastructure. The key point, the key message that Cameron County Judge Eddie Trevino has been drilling us is that the taxpayers will not fund for this. It will be self-sustainable. This will not be an increase in taxes on the people. And also this money would come from a visitor's tax. Essentially, the outside community. The outside community is the one that is going to invest in this project. We have talked about how the sports park has been an eyesore for the city of Brownsville. The Brownsville Event Center also is not being utilized. Tenasca, who could forget about Tenasca and that ordeal? Do we trust our politicians with millions and hundreds of millions of dollars? We'll see we'll see in the next five minutes. For District 3, a very, very contested race. We have Gustavo de Leon, Denise Chavez, and Corina Barraza. From the onset, Gustavo de Leon has been the front runner. Many people have been betting on this individual to win. Some have even argued and stated that he's going to win without a runoff, that he's going to get the 50% plus one vote to win District 3. Do we anticipate a runoff in this election? Again, based on the numbers from early voting or from this election, Brownsville has only seen 5,500 voters. Do we anticipate a runoff? I don't see a runoff in any of these races. So Starbase made national news on ABC. We know it would likely pass. Who do you have your money on? Gustavo de Leon, a former federal agent, Denise Chavez, who on paper is more than qualified, and Ms. Corina Barraza, who is making the case for Unidos with the city of Brownsville. Unidos hacemos Brownsville más fuerte. Has that been resonating with the community? Is her message moving the people out to the polls? We will see. For District 4, we have Michael Rodriguez, an entrepreneur, business owner, who is promising to streamline the permits department. That way, the city of Brownsville could be open for business. We have Mr. Louis Tejerina, a realtor/developer, who has mentioned that he wants to bring HEB to the western part of the city of Brownsville. We have incumbent Pedro Cardenas. How does he fare in this election? We have Ms. Daisy Zamora, a doctor who has received the support from Mayor Cowan and Commissioner Gowan. Who is going to take this? Again, based on the numbers, I anticipate this race also going to a runoff. How do you see this race, chat? Who do you have your number on? Is this the case? And again, today's the Kentucky Derby. Who is your horse in this race? A very, very contested race. 4 very qualified individuals who have been vying throughout this election cycle for your vote. How do you feel for District 4? Who will take the seat in District 4? Good evening, Buck Cook, a man for the people. Thank you so much, sir, for your time and your attention. Hope to see you here. Hope to see you soon, my man. Hopefully I will invite you on. Vote for Frankie very, very soon. Thank you for your kind words. The commissioner at large race. This has been one to watch. We have how the issue of an incumbent being disrespectful to a conservative elderly woman who has had ethics complaint filed against him. Ms. Nudith Galansky has been very vocal, and she uploaded a video and stated, I am ethical. I have never had an ethics violation filed against me, and I respect my elders. We have Alejandro Garcia, who is coming in as a young individual and saying, we need God in the city commission. Does this young man have a chance to go up against elite candidates, as in the likes of Jason Moody? Mr. Moody is promising to sell the city of Brownsville to the world in marketing, because again, the biggest thing that we have for the city of Brownsville right now is SpaceX. Mayor Cowan spoke about how the city of Brownsville received $100 million because of tourism. How can we take that to the very next level? Because again, we want to sell Brownsville to the world. Being a commissioner at large, we're going to see this individual working for all of Brownsville. How do you see this this race, chat? This was always one of Erasmo's times, the election night results. Yes, again, for us nerds, this is the Super Bowl. This is something that lives are about to change. The hard work and dedication that many campaign workers have been working for today, and we'll get that results within minutes. So now, chat, the time is to wait, and whoever gets the numbers before me, make sure you shoot them to me, because I am clicking like a madman and seeing how this goes. Again, this is very, very important. Unfortunately, today we didn't have the best weather. We did see some scattered showers, which many anticipated, and we asked ourselves, is this going to affect the numbers overall? They're up. Show them, Manny. Show me. Where are they? I don't see them. Send me the link. Cameron site. I'm on the Cameron site. Yeah, let me show you. Send me the link. I'm on the Cameron County. I'm on the results. Oh, okay. Go back. Results. Or is it election results? Election results. Election results. No. Results. Results. No. Early voting. List. Ballots. No. Early voting. I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm on the Cameron County website. Oh, he sent me a message. Okay, voter turnout. Yes, I got it. Okay, I got it. Damn technology. Again, people's lives are about to change, chat. Whose live is it gonna be? Let's see. Dun dun dun. Again, this is so exciting. Ah. People's lives are about to change. Let's see. Sent. Got it. Thank you, brother. Let's see. All right. Uh-oh. Spaghetti-o. Let's go. Election day results. Here we go. Brownsville. Wow. Look at this. Cameron County resoundingly came out and said no. 60% of Cameron County voters voted against the arena. Can you believe that? For commissioner at large, we have Miss Nudith Galansky and Roy de los Santos. It seems as if this will go into a runoff. For District 3, Gustavo de Leon wins it without a runoff. 61% of the vote. Ms. Denise Chavez received 29%. Yvonne Barraza received 178 votes at 10%. For District 4, close race, Ms. Daisy Zamora. As of right now, Daisy Zamora and Pedro Cardenas will be will be going into a runoff. Wow. What else are we looking at? What else do we want to see, chat? Primera, no. Starbase. 4 individuals. Can you believe that? Elon Musk is going to find these people. They're going to get fired. Hilarious. Again, Starbase, 173 people voted for, 4 were against, and the commissioners, of course. But again, let's go over the results. 60% of the voters came out to vote against the arena. How is this going to change the dynamics, chat? We have talked about how we felt as if the politicos were going to keep on putting this on the ballot. Is this going to be a slap in the face to the voters? If for the fourth time we have the politicians put this on the ballot, because as of right now, if we look at the dynamics of Madeira development has been waiting patiently for this to pass. If you look at their development, they've been stalling because, again, this was supposed to pass 2-4 years ago. What's going to happen to that? Crazy. The county, Cameron County, came out loud and clear. 60% of early voting said no. So this is the race to watch. Nurit Golonsky and Roy de los Santos. Who is Alejandro Garcia going to support? Because again, Alejandro Garcia is the young man conservative who garnered a lot of support, who got a lot of support from the churches, from the pastors. Are the conservatives going to support Nurit Golonsky? It's impressive. It's impressive for her to be up. Anybody that knows Commissioner de los Santos knows that he's a politician. He has made himself available and has created an open dialogue, an open door policy with the community. Many people thought that Nurit Golonsky wasn't able to be as strong, but again, anything could happen in a runoff. Is Nurit Golonsky going to reach out to Alejandro Garcia and Jason Moody and seek their support? Again, it's very, very important. Who is the conservatives going to vote for? Nurit Golonsky, who has openly posted on her page that she's not rude. Let's look for it. So again, very, very interesting, chat. Very, very interesting. Hey, Eddie Trevino, no more, please. That's it. Ya basta. Tell the compas, that's it. Again, how are they going to respond? Remember, this was a contract for $200, possibly $300 million that the community resoundingly said, no, and good golly gee, no for the third time. 60% of the vote, very, very resounding. It was a slam dunk. The main issue that the community was saying, fix our roads, fix our drainage. How can we have luxury before necessity? The commissioner at large race is going to be very, very telling, ladies and gentlemen. Is Roy de los Santos able to get his people out to vote in the runoff? Again, it is very difficult, chat, to get people out to vote. We are in April, early May. Did the leaders get the message? Are they going to say, you know what? Y'all win. Chat, we're talking about millions and millions of dollars. Imagine the contracts. Imagine the power. Many people were vocal and said, we do not need this. From Northern Cameron County, individuals were saying, Many people on in Northern Cameron County were saying this is a Brownsville issue. Why are we from Cameron County getting this burden on us? It's crazy, chat. It's crazy. Trevino says, watch them put it on the ballot again. Would you blame them? Would you put it past them? Heck no. Again, chat, we're talking about millions and millions of dollars. You don't think that contractors, developers, engineers, architects, realtors, people involved in insurance bonds want to see it on again? They're ratas. Ms. Bautista, would you be outraged if our leaders in 2 more years pass this? Because according to Judge Eddie Trevino, he says that the reason why this has been on the ballot for the 3rd time was because he wholeheartedly believes that this economic development and growth is what's needed for our area. Do you buy that? Do you trust your politicos? It seems as if Cameron County did not. But again, the commissioner at large race is going to be very, very important. Is Alejandro Garcia going to openly support and endorse Ms. Galansky in the runoff? We have seen and talked about how Commissioner de los Santos, how he lost the conservative vote. Because, again, it was all over the news. How could someone in power be disrespectful to an elderly woman? The position of commissioner at large is one that you have to deal with everybody, no matter if they're black or white, male, female, gay, straight, black, blue, white. If we have differences of opinion, we have to work together. Did the community feel this and said, you know what? We do not need that person in our city commission. How is Alejandro Garcia going to react to this? Is he able? Again, anything could happen on election day. Is Alejandro Garcia able to get into a runoff? Could he muster 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 votes on election day? Anything is possible, ladies and gentlemen. Again, the way politicos work is they work tirelessly during early voting because, again, elections are won in early voting. Block walking, coming out on podcasts, on the internet, going on the radio, making your pitch, selling yourself, all that. This elections are won during early voting. Election day is very, very, very important as well. As of right now, depending on how election numbers come out. But again, how many voters in the city of Brownsville do we anticipate? 2,000, 3,000, 15. It was guesstimated to be 1,500 before we found out about the weather. Is it going to be 750, 800? So as of right now, Nurit Galansky seems to be in the driver's seat in a runoff. The telling thing, chat, the telling thing here is Alejandro Garcia able to bring in votes on election day? That is ultimately what's going to determine whether he's in a runoff or not. And again, we can't put it past Commissioner de los Santos. We know how big of a campaigner he is. His people are going to come out and vote. It's going to be very telling. Do we see Commissioner de los Santos able to pull it off and join Ms. Galansky in a runoff? Rodriguez says, tell Eddie to find the PUB money or return it, and we will vote for the arena. Again, Rodriguez, there have been a lot of question marks, right? What happened with Tenasca? And many people, if you ask them, they will tell you, how do you feel about Tenasca? They stole from us. Well, how do you feel about the credit that you received? What credit? Again, we saw how the likes of Susan for the People made her request for information, a public information request. She found out that lawyers, attorneys, engineers, consultants, businessmen, entrepreneurs made millions of dollars off of Tenaska. And what do we have to show for it? Absolutely nothing. Exactly. I'm about 15 minutes from Starbase, and I'm against it. We are the ones to be voting against the arena. If they put it on again, it means they don't give a rat's butt. It's a shame how they keep putting this item on the ballot. People do crazy things, and especially when there's millions and millions of dollars on the line. I completely agree. There is so much that needs to be fixed in the community. That is the last thing we need. Again, Trevino, why are we having luxury? The Rio Grande Valley, who can forget when the Rio Grande Valley was experiencing a severe storm? We saw the likes of McAllen, Edinburgh, Harlingen, Santa Rosa, Santa Maria, La Feria, San Benito be underwater. Right now, currently, there are still areas in northern Cameron County, such as Santa Rosa, Santa Maria, that many areas are still underwater. Can you imagine that? For our politicians to go to them and say, hey, vote for the arena. We need this. They're probably looking around and saying, damn, I lost livestock. My property is ruined. I have no help from the county. Oh, wait, they are giving away $200. Again, we're thankful for the assistance, but is $200 really going to help these people? At the end of the day, every politician promises a better quality of life for you and I. Are they providing a better quality of life by giving us an arena? As of right now, it doesn't seem that way. For District 3, again, very impressive for Gustavo de Leon to come up like this. 61% of the voters came out to vote. Very, very telling, chat. Very, very telling. Congratulations, Gustavo de Leon. We hope that you will serve District 3 to the best of your ability. There is no doubt in many people, because again, you resoundingly brought your people out to vote, resoundingly in your favor. This is a position that was previously held by Commissioner Roy de los Santos. We'll see that right now, Rodriguez, the results for Starbase. We have seen how Commissioner de los Santos chose to run the at-large race and left this seat vacant. So again, congratulations, Mr. Gustavo de Leon, on your victory, sir. He received 61%. It's important for us to recognize that the community does want individuals that they can relate to, that have a good rapport with the community. We see here that Miss Yvonne Barraza received 178 votes. Now, she received the worst press from her election campaign. One thing that I was very vocal about was that she did not address the issues at hand. Many people were accusing her of being a killer, of being a fraudster. And look, none of us here are perfect. We're all human. We all understand that we possibly have done things that we're not proud of. But the important thing is in life is to, one, recognize your flaws, your imperfections, learn from it, and then not do it again, right? Well, in politics, whenever you run, you best prepare to answer these questions. Why? Because everything gets thrown out during the campaign, the good and the bad. There's a lot of skeletons in the closet. Ms. Barraza did not do a good job of addressing these issues. And like anything, chat, we have to nip it at the butt. What happens once a story goes to Fulano Mangano? By the time it reaches those individuals, the story has created its legs of its own. If Ms. Barraza would have addressed these issues at the very beginning and said, look, I do not have a misdemeanor or felony conviction. I have been falsely accused, and I have nothing to fear. My quest is to be the very best for the citizens of Brownsville. We didn't get that. So what did the citizens of Brownsville think? Well, she's a killer. She's not addressing it. She's not saying anything. She's letting the story go. And again, this went viral. You had people sharing it and talking about it and bringing things up from 20 years ago, and it got nasty. Would her fate have been different if she would have addressed this issue as soon as it came out? I think we as voters, we want somebody that's genuine, somebody that we can relate to. We understand we all make mistakes. Are we upfront about it? Did we learn from it? Did we move on? We shouldn't let something define who we are. But if we don't talk about it, if we're not open about it with the people see through that. And then again, it starts creeping up. Yes, we do, Cruz. You're late. Welcome. We'll go over the results in a bit. Exactly. I'm 15 minutes away. I'm voting against the arena. If they put it again, that means they don't give a rat's butt. I agree. I completely agree with you. There's so much that needs to be fixed in the community. That is the last thing we need. Elizabeth says low voter turnout for election day because of weather. Again, is that going to affect Alejandro Garcia? He's down a few votes from he's down actually 300 votes. Roy de los Santos is at 27.6% of the vote. Alejandro Garcia is at 21.5%. So this race, the commissioner at large race, it's still up for grabs in regards to the runoff. Unless Commissioner Nurit Kalansky brings in thousands of votes, but we don't anticipate that. We do anticipate, how Elizabeth says, having a low voter turnout because of the weather. So again, this is the race to watch. This and District 4. Is Alejandro Garcia able to bring out his voters? He's only down 300 votes. In reality, 300 votes is not a lot. But when you consider the low voter turnout, every vote counts in these type of elections, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we preach day in and day out. Go out and vote. Go out and vote. Go out and vote. It's important. Every vote counts. So this is the race to watch. The commissioner at large race. Is Alejandro Garcia able to bring in 300 plus more votes, whatever Commissioner Roy de los Santos brings in? Anything is possible, chat. It's chat. C-H-A-T. Rodriguez. Every vote counts, Ms. Cruz. Are today's results still pending? Yes, Mr. Camerlinga. Again, we had the polls close at 7 p.m. The Cameron County results were released 15 minutes after. So right now, Cameron County is getting all the numbers, all the polls, all the precincts in, so they can do an updated result. But yes, as of right now, these are the early voting results. Anything could happen in this at large race. 60% of the voters came out for against the arena. Okay, District 4. District 4, as of right now, we have Pedro Cárdenas and Daisy Zamora. How are these candidates going to play this? Is this something where they're going to be asking for the support of Michael Rodriguez and or Louis Tijerina? Because again, if your opponents brought in 400, 300 votes in the runoff, every vote counts. If you thought the elections during April and May were difficult, imagine to get people out to vote one last time. You know what they're going to say? No, hombre, ya voté. I already voted, man. Why am I going to vote again? So as of right now, it seems as if Pedro Cárdenas and Daisy Zamora will be going to a runoff. Will the other candidates, Mr. Rodriguez and Mr. Tejirina, will they support either candidate? That's going to be a very interesting race because, again, we have an incumbent, Pedro Cárdenas, who will be going up against Daisy Zamora, who has the support of the mayor, who has the support of current Commissioner Gowan. Is that going to put her over the hump? We've been talking about and preaching about how these candidates, all they want to be is in a runoff because anything could happen. Rodriguez wanted to see the Starbase results. Let's go to Starbase. The incorporation of Starbase. Again, we had 173 people vote for the incorporation of Starbase, and 4 people voted against it. You know Elon Musk is going to find out who these rascals are, and you know they're going to get fired, or you know he's going to kick them out. What do you mean you voted against me, fool? You best not vote against me. What I don't know, chat, is, it says vote for 2. So as of right now, these will be the commissioners for the city of Starbase. Jordan Buss and Jenna Prajeska. Miss Jenna is an engineer. I believe Bobby Pedden did attend the University of Texas at Austin on I'm not sure, as a graduate study. I'm not sure as a graduate or as undergrad, but Bobby Pedden, the mayor for Starbase, did go to UT. Again, the only ones that are able to come on is the only ones that are able to vote are those that live in Starbase. So it's going to be interesting to learn how these individuals. What's the next step for Starbase? We have talked about how these individuals have been promising a school. They've been promising Rio West. They're going to develop and invest in their area because, again, they don't have a need. They don't have a need for the city of Brownsville anymore. They're going to create their own world. How is that going to fare? How is that going to fare with the city of Brownsville? How is that going to affect us? We've talked about how the school district is going to be severely affected by this because, again, we all want to be part of Elon Musk's school, right? So is BISD going to be in a struggle to keep enrollment with the likes of the charter schools, IDEA? And now they're going to have to compete against SpaceX. We anticipate that that the dynamics of the commission for Starbase is going to change. And remember, chat, people from California are going to travel down here. Elon Musk did make Texas. He incorporated the home of, I'm not sure all of his companies, but the majority of his companies to be in Texas. We saw how this previous presidential race, we saw how the Rio Grande Valley voted Republican. Elon Musk supporting the Republican Party. Is Starbase going to vote predominantly red? Is this a cause for concern for the Democratic Party that they're starting to see a change in this? Again, only time will tell. Yes, BISD will struggle. What is the next step for Starbase, though? Everybody will start moving that way. again, housing is limited right now. Boca Chica Village was something that they had been, I don't want to say forcing people, but they're trying to buy people out. There was one lady that came on the Texas Tribune or Texas Monthly and said that they offered her $1 million, and she said no. So what is the next step? Are people going to move out there? As of right now, I think it's just for the workers. Because again, you think they want us common folks? Remember when Rancho Viejo was like, oh my God, you live in Rancho? O sea, oh, tú eres de Bronzeville? Ew, tú eres naco. That's what Starbase is going to say. Ew, tú eres de Bronzeville? O sea, ugh. Ni te me acerques. X. Headquarters. BISD will struggle. Camilo says, Frankie, why do the voters' numbers add to 300 for commissioner, city of Starbase, and for Starbase it is total of 177? The Starbase election is 177. Should it be 177? Again, the 177, 4 people voted against it, Camilo. Look at this right here. You're right. 177 people did vote in early voting. 173 for and 173 against. Again, we are 44 minutes after the polls have closed. Let me refresh the Cameron County site to see if the election day results are in. It seems as if no, as of right now, no. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I'm still seeing the same numbers on the Cameron County site. So that means right now that the numbers have not been updated. But again, interesting races to watch. District 4. The dynamics of this has been very interesting. We have an incumbent and 3 very formidable opponents. Commissioner Cardenas' opponent, Ms. Daisy Zamora, is being backed by the mayor. If I'm not mistaken, the mayor has the majority on the commission right now. Is Ms. Daisy Zamora that vote that will keep Mayor Cowan with the majority? Does Mr. Pedro Cardenas pose a threat to Mayor Cowan by keeping the majority away from the mayor? So again, District 4 is going to go to a runoff no matter what the early voting numbers are right now. But again, anything could happen. Is Michael Rodriguez able to bring out his people out to vote on election day? He does need at least 200 votes plus whatever Ms. Zamora is able to bring in. But why does Commissioner City of Starbase have a total of 300 votes? Shouldn't it be 300? I think you're adding these two. Again, don't add them. You're probably adding the Jordan Bus and the Jenna. They have to vote for 2. So this number of 300, it's irrelevant, because even though there was 177 people that came out to early voting, not everybody voted for Jordan or for Jenna. So again, there has to be 2 commissioners at least to have a majority. Their majority is 3. Well, their majority is 2. But again, we anticipate that after a certain amount of years, Starbase is going to open up more city commission positions that will ultimately increase their seats on their city commission. That is why it is at 300. Again, don't look at it and add them up, because again, they had to vote for 2 individuals. So some people did vote for that individual and some people just didn't. Some people just voted for 1. But again, District 4. Awesome. Thank you for tuning in, Camilo, Diana. Happy weekend. Again, District 4. Pedro Cardenas brought in 35.3% of the vote. Mike Rodriguez, 21.2%. Daisy Zamora, 30.19%. And Louis Tijerina, 13.21%. This will be going into a runoff for sure. Good Morning Brownsville is already designating this race as a runoff. The interesting thing to watch here is Michael Rodriguez able to bring out numbers in the hundreds to pull off this upset? And be in a runoff. Again, for District 3, congratulations to Gustavo de Leon. Gustavo de Leon did bring in 61% of the vote. There is no need for a runoff in this race. Again, the thing to see here is that the very telling thing to see here is Miss Corina Barraza. Miss Barraza, unfortunately, wasn't able to get over the hump of that dark cloud over her campaign. Again, I'm not sure who advised her, if it was Donachi. There was questions in regards to her campaign finance report where she spent thousands of dollars at Toscafino, a high-end restaurant. And on the reasons why she spent so much money was because of campaign. Here to join us this evening tonight is Susan for the People. Susan, good evening.
Hi, Frankie. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Susan, what are your thoughts on the early voting results so far?
Wow. I mean, right now, I think we're doing good. I think that, the people have spoken so far against Prop A. I hope that Judge Trevino gets the picture that either if he's going to bring it up again on a ballot, that he needs to be transparent and have a concrete plan for us so that we can decide, based off of the information. And I hope that he gets a picture this time, because this will be the third time it looks like the people have shot it down. And congratulations to Gus de Leon. Looks like he's in it to win it this time. I don't see a runoff in District 3 at all. So I think that's a good choice for the citizens of Brownsville. I think he'll represent us very well.
In regards to the arena, Susan, you have been very vocal from the onset. What would you pin the citizens coming out to vote? What do you think the main reason was that they came out and resoundingly shut this down for the third time?
I think it's a history of trust, Frankie. I think the citizens have been burned with these type of projects one too many times. With the sports park and the amphitheater and the Brownsville Event Center, although not, only one of those is the actual Cameron County project. The other two are city projects. They're very underutilized facilities. They're undermarketed. We're subsidizing two of those. And I think that's just a fear that we're going to end up having to carry this one on our backs as well. And because I feel that Judge Trevino didn't do a very good job in assuring the people that was not going to happen, that's why that's why he's losing it. I just, again, like I did an interview this morning with Channel 5, and I said, look, it's not that people don't think that an arena would be a good thing for us, or that it would be great to have like a graduation alternative, a place for concerts and conferences. But we have to have a plan in place. You cannot go to the bank and apply for a business loan and not give them a business plan. You can't go and say, give me $500,000 to open a business and then not know what you're doing and just say, you know what, I'll figure it out afterwards. Just give me the money and I'll figure out the business plan afterwards. It's not the way it works. And I don't think it works for the people anymore. And I'm so excited. I'm more excited that people are getting out and voting. It wasn't the best turnout that we can have, considering we have 200,000 people registered in Cameron County to vote. But on social media and through different, areas, you can see that people are starting to wake up and say, okay, wait a minute, I'm going to vote for this. Whether they were for or against, they're going to get out there and vote. And that's the biggest thing, having their voices heard is a big thing. I think, like I said, I think the biggest thing is that we need a plan. We need to see that plan. We don't need to open the Pandora's box, say yes to an arena, are using the hot tax for partial funding, open the box and then let them finance it however else they want to, because then they don't have to come back and answer to us. And that's a big problem.
Do you think, honestly, do you think that the citizens of Cameron County eventually would be open to the idea of an arena?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know I am. I'm personally open to it. But you know, when you could, because they like to compare Bert Ogden and Hidalgo a lot to us, which there's really no comparison. I mean, Brownsville needs to stand alone on their own. I hate when they compare us to upper and lower RGV, but you know, when you look at Bert Ogden, when Bert Ogden came around to do that arena, they already had the Vipers signed. The Vipers they were already going to be signed to pay rent there, $350,000 a year. So, and you know, they had the public-private partnership as well. But I mean, it was a very thought out plan, and in the way that this plan has been displayed to the people is just like, don't worry about it. We're not paying for it. It's a hot tax. It's the visitors. It's a hot tax. They're paying for it. But then you listen to another interview and it's like, well, we can only afford a certain amount and we're going to have to look for some other, you know, finances. We're going to have to find someone that's going to find. We might even tap into the city for their hot tax. You know, that just turns people off because we don't want that on our backs. And I think if he comes with a concrete plan and says, you know what, we've already gotten, you know, this amount of money from private interest dedicated, and the Cameron County is going to put up this amount through hot tax. I can promise you that we're not going to use general funds. We're not going to use any other type of money to sponsor this arena or to financially support it. I think maybe the people might be open to it. Not only that, Frankie, but we didn't even know which type of arena was coming up. Is it a 4,000 seater? Is it a 10,000 seater? Is it a 12,000 seater? I mean, that's another thing, because if they were going to build a 4,000 seat arena, that was not going to help us. That was not going to compete with any concerts or big conventions anywhere. Now, if they would have been a 10 to 12,000 seat, that we could be part of the game in that. But again, that's a $350 million project. That's a lot of money. And we don't know where it's coming from.
A lot of money with a lot of red flags.
Mm-hmm.
Would you put it past them? Would you put it past the commissioner's court in 2 years? The same thing on the ballot?
Oh, no. Obviously, they've done it 3 times in a row. They did it in November of 21, May of 22, and now again, May of 25. I mean, I don't put it past them to I mean, unless during elections, because we have county elections next year, right? So in 2026, there's going to be a few spots open. So unless, you know, we get some people in there that actually ask those questions, or make sure those plans are, you know, established before they come to the citizens again for a vote. But I wouldn't put anything past them. I mean, they've proven to us that they don't respect the will of the people.
Again, Cameron County, 60% of the voters rejected it. That to me is a slam dunk, because again, Susan, the 2 previous times it was narrowly, it was less than 200 votes, and possibly even less the first time. So for the citizens to come out and say absolutely no should be very telling, shouldn't it?
You would think so. I think the first time it was a margin of 60 votes. And I think the next, in 2022, May, it was about 200 or a little over 200 votes. Or it might have been vice versa. I'm not sure. But either way, this is a tremendous win for the people that are opposed to it. And for all the right reasons, right? I mean, transparency being the most important thing. And I hope that we'll get some respect this time with what the voters have voted on. But like I said, you know, to answer your question, I don't put it past the commission to put it on there again.
You did bring up Mr. Gustavo de Leon. As of right now, he is the only candidate that will not be in a runoff. You, Miss Susan, for the people, have been very vocal against one of his opponents, who was being accused of being a killer and being a fraudster. Do you think that by Miss Barraza not addressing the issue from the very beginning, you think that derailed her campaign? Or was Gustavo de Leon just too strong?
I think it's both. I think Gus. I mean, you look at the results, and it wasn't even. I mean, Barraza didn't even have a chance anyway. It looks like it was between Gus and Denise the entire time. And I don't know that that's so much with what I've put out and the other people have put about, you know, her personal problems, as much as it is about her presentation when she was doing forums and answering questions and stuff. I mean, very rehearsed, very chat GPT. I've said that before. You know, just didn't look like somebody that would be able to represent or be able to have that impromptu with citizens and concerns of Brownsville. And Gus is a very strong, I've said that from the beginning, Gus is a very strong candidate, and I didn't think he would have any problems. Only until I heard Denise. Like I said, I respected Denise because I heard her speak at one of the forums, and I thought, wow, this girl's, you know, she knows her stuff, and I was impressed. And so I thought, oh, okay, you know, if he has any competition, it's going to come from her. But he's very strong, and again, I'm very comfortable that he'll represent the citizens of Brownsville well. And Barraza, I mean, yeah, I think she should have come forward earlier and talked about the accusations and the things that she was allegedly involved in, and it probably could have shot it down, you know, quickly. But she didn't. I mean, and some things you can't fix. You know, you can't fix lawsuits against you for those things. You can't fix what's already out there, right? I mean, if you're arrested for these things and it's out there, I mean, it's not a big lie. So you got to come out and kind of talk about it. And she waited, I think, what, 2 days ago or 3 days ago, or maybe last week or something. I mean, voting had already started. Or if it was a couple of days before early voting, I don't remember exactly, but that's probably not the way she should have run her campaign.
And you would think that whoever was advising her was, you have to ask that question. Is there something that's going to come up that we should prepare for? Because again, everything is about controlling the narrative. If you're able to control the narrative, you might get by it. But it seems as if she wasn't properly consuled, or there's something missing again, because all her speeches were written down. Nothing seemed genuine. It just seemed as if the people just didn't accept her, and then that story just derailed her campaign, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I don't know who it was in her campaign. If it was Donache, which I think has been deported back, and you know, if that was a big part of her campaign and she lost communication with him. I don't know if it's the other gentleman that she's close to that happens to be a sexual, you know, predator, convicted. I don't know who else she was relying on for that kind of information, or that kind of, you know, somebody with that kind of experience to handle a candidate like that. She obviously knew. I mean, I'm sure, I can't imagine that she has not seen every candidate that has come forward dragged through the mud. And we all have. I'm no different. You're no different. I mean, when you come out, whoever's against you is going to basically drag you through the mud, and you have to be prepared for that. And she didn't nip it. You know, she let it create into a big storm on its own. But again, I mean, it's hard to denounce something that is not a lie. It's the truth, you know, at least some of the things, you know. I don't want to say anything about the unfortunate murder or death of her husband, because that's an alleged thing. That's not something that has been proven that she's been involved in. And that's not one of the things that I, you know, definitely posted about on any of mine. Anything that I posted about was stuff that I got from, you know, actual documentation or actually police reports or anything like that. And all that had to do with her and her business and the way she was kind of scamming people for money. You're on mute.
District 4, thank you. District 4, as of right now, we have Mr. Pedro Cardenas leading the race as of right now by only 100 votes. How do you see this race? As of right now, Ms. Daisy Zamora does seem to be in the runoff. But again, anything could happen on election day. Do you think Mr. Michael Rodriguez is able to bring in the necessary votes to pull off an upset, or do you think it's going to be Cardenas and Zamora in a runoff?
Yeah, no, I don't see Mike bringing in an amount. You know, early voting is pretty indicative of what's going to happen. It usually doesn't change too much after that. If you have the power in early voting, you're probably going to have the power in voting day, in election day. Again, Daisy, you know, I have said this before. I respect Daisy. I love Daisy. I think she's smart and would represent the city well. I just tend to lean more towards Pedro because I've seen what he's already done in District 4, and I give him big credit for that. And he's never done anything that has made me question his position there. That's just my personal opinion. So it'll be a runoff between them two, and I think it'll be a hard one between the two of them. I guess it would depend. She has a lot of support from the incumbents, from what I understand, and it'll depend on where those voters from Louis and Mike go.
It's going to be very telling. How are Rodriguez and Tijerina, if Rodriguez doesn't make it into a runoff, how are they going to decide? Are they going to push their people out to vote for a certain candidate? The interesting thing, Susan, is the dynamics of the city commission. Right now, Mayor Cowan does have the majority. He is counting on Ms. Zamora to come through because she is the appointed/anointed one. And again, we've been talking over and over again how early voting, how the runoff, anything could happen. How difficult is this going to be for Mr. Cardenas?
Yeah, I think if it's going to be him and Daisy, Pedro's going to have to work. You know, he's going to have to work overtime. And I've seen him working the campaign actually, I have seen Pedro working the campaign a lot more than the other three. But he will have to work overtime with this one. Like I said, specifically because she does have some incumbent support. If I'm not mistaken, Cowan is behind her. And I think Gowan is behind her. I'm not sure about Linda or Brian. And I'm not really sure about Tino, but Tino normally follows the footsteps of Cowan. So I would think that she has the most of the incumbent support. And sometimes that is all you need to push you over. But Pedro's well liked. He's well liked on both sides, you know, on both sides of the aisle. He can talk with people. He's great presenter, easygoing. And so, you know, I think it's gonna be a good race. It'll be a good runoff.
It is going to be a very good runoff, and again, every vote's going to count in the runoff. For the commissioner at large race, as of right now, we have Miss Nurith Galansky, who brought in 70% of the vote, and as of right now, with early voting results, it seems as if Commissioner de los Santos at 27.6% will be in a runoff. Now, again, do you think Mr. Alejandro Garcia has the 300 plus votes to get him in there, Susan?
That's going to be a close one right there. I know that Alejandro has surprisingly brought in a tremendous amount of voters. And I am sure his pattern in early voting, I'm sure, will continue on election day. Alejandro has been working double time in his campaign. He really has. And so that one is going to be a close one. There'll definitely be a runoff. And I had predicted it was going to be between Roy and Nerdith. I had actually I didn't think that Nerdith was going to take more than Roy. So I'm actually pleased to see that. But I knew that Alejandro was a dark horse there, and he's super close to Roy right now. But I don't know if he can catch him. You know, he's down about 400 votes. You know, that's quite a bit of votes for the amount of people that come out and actually vote on election day. And it was really slow today. I went 2 trips to the Brownsville Library to take my husband and then my daughter and her fiance, and it was dead, completely dead at the library. So I don't think we're going to have that much election day votes.
Again, very impressive for Alejandro Garcia, somebody that we're questioning. Is he mature enough? Does he have what it takes? Many people even questioned his responses at many of the forums and podcasts that he appeared. But for him to be in the thick of things on election day is very telling. How much, Susan? How much, Susan, can we attribute that to the FU heard around the world? Did that hurt Commissioner de los Santos?
I mean, of course it did. It should have, and Alejandro, sometimes, Frankie, it just takes a good heart and someone that's wanting to just clearly, with no connection, serve the people. And a lot of people are attracted to that, and when you have Nerdith, who has already been on the, several boards, she's already been a commissioner, and then you have Roy de los Santos, same thing, been on boards, already a commissioner, when you have that kind of already in your background, you have good and you have bad. So you have people that have agreed with you during your commission and tenure, and then you have people that haven't. So Alejandro doesn't have that history. He's connected to nobody in the city. He's connected to no boards or anything. He's never served. He is just a downright pure Christian person. And sometimes that is all you need in order to serve, at least attract people to vote for you, to give you that chance to serve. I agree. He's green. Sometimes his speech is off, and the answers to his questions are not as good as others that are seasoned in this. But some people don't really, that's not a concern of some people. Some people just want a pure person, a pure, honest, person out there to serve, that doesn't have any agenda, is not paid for, and hasn't had a history already in that position. And I think that's what's attracting people to vote for Alejandro.
The conservatives came out to vote. Many people were questioning, are the evangelicals going to make a difference in this race? It's apparent they did, because their candidate, their horse, is in the thick of things. According to Susan, she didn't see that many people out in the polls. Is that going to affect Mr. Garcia? Is he able to bring in the 300-400 of votes needed, plus whatever Commissioner de los Santos brings in? That it's going to be interesting to see the results. Susan, based on these on the early voting numbers, what's your expectations for the city of Brownsville? Is it promising with this new leadership? The dynamics of this leadership, is it cause you for concern?
No. I think let's hypothetically say we have Gus De Leon in there, we have Nerdith, and if we're going to go with the way the election looks right now, let's say we have Nerdith in there, we have Gus De Leon, we have Pedro Cardenas, we have Cowan, Brian, and Linda, and Tino. I think that's a pretty evenly distributed commission there. And I think that things have changed in the public where we're really keeping an eye on stuff now. We're holding them accountable more every day. And the people that are running for office right now, these candidates know that. I mean, they've seen and they've looked at social media, and they know that people are finally standing up and saying, we're done with this. We're tired of it. And I think Roy's race is very indicative of that. Because before, Roy would have taken it without a doubt. Like, Roy would have just had, like he had, did in the first time, he would have ran with this. And I don't think that anybody would have been able to catch him. But with the mistakes he has made in the past and not owning up to them, people are kind of tired of that. And they showed up this time and they voted. And I mean, it could all change on election day. I don't anticipate that it will that much. I don't think a lot of people went out. The weather was hindering a lot of that. There's a lot of things going on today around the valley. I've had people reach out to me that are at the SPI today, where can they vote, but they're from Brownsville. And, I had people reach out to me from Edinburgh, I'm in Edinburgh, where can I vote? So there's a lot going on today. And so I don't think that we're going to bring in as much as we anticipated on election day. So I think we're looking in a positive way right now. If the people that are ahead right now win, and even win in a runoff, I think we're looking good.
It is 8:12. We are an hour and 12 minutes past the closing of the polls. I keep on refreshing, Susan. I'm not sure if you have access. I still have the same. I still have the same numbers. It is taking, in my opinion, a little bit longer. But again, we don't anticipate that many voters. But it is a responsibility of Mr. Remy Garza to make sure he brings in all the polls in. Make sure he gets the data and the numbers out before he posts. Starbase, Susan, what can we expect from Starbase? Is this going to hurt Brownsville in the future?
You know, I'm so on the fence about Starbase and what's the thing? What's a rocket thing called? Starbase, and what's the city's going to be Starbase, right?
SpaceX.
SpaceX. There you go. Couldn't think of it. You know, but this should be no surprise to the people. Okay, Elon did not come over here just to build an area to launch, you know, spaceships. I mean, that should have been pretty obvious from the beginning. I don't see it as, I don't see that small little municipality, you know, bothering us too much, other than the fact that, you know, and I don't know the details on it, but I'm going to assume that now our taxes, you know, he won't have to pay taxes to us now that tax abatement is done, unless I'm wrong about that. But I mean, I expected something like this to happen, so I just don't see how it's going to affect us that much. You know, I think we're headed to. I mean, we were headed to that from the very beginning.
So it should have been expected for the world's richest man to colonize us. And can we say goodbye to our beach? Is it fair to say it's a done deal?
Yeah. Well, you know, that bill that's going through again, you know, that bill, if it does pass, it's only going to be from Monday through Friday until noon. County is still in charge of the weekends. I believe that there's still a limit on the amount of launches for now. But we're going to have to get some leadership in there that's going to, it should have happened before. I don't know if it slipped through our fingers already, but I think that we should have had leadership in there that would have been able to negotiate with him, bargain with him, and say, look, you know, it's good for us here, but we need you to pitch in here, you know, environmentally, economically, whatever it is. But again, you know, I knew this was coming. And so what do we do about it now? I mean, I don't like the idea at all. I mean, I don't like the fact that he's going to have, that they're going to have the ability to close and do whatever they want to the beach, if that's what's going to happen. I don't think that's fair to us at all. But what do we do about it? You're on mute.
Susan, again, we are an hour and 15 minutes away. Do you want to stay for the results or do we call it a day?
No, I'll take off and you can continue doing your thing. And then I'll jump back in maybe after we get the final results.
Sounds good. Let's call it a night. Again, we'll be posting the election day results, but as of right now, 60% of Cameron County voters rejected the arena for the third time. How is that going to affect us moving forward? Are the politicians going to put this on the agenda in the foreseeable future again? That's going to be very telling. District 3, congratulations to Mr. Gustavo De Leon, who did receive, who will be not having a runoff. District 4 candidates, as of right now, Pedro Cardenas and Daisy Zamora are headed to a runoff. And the at-large race, as of right now, Ms. Nudith Golonsky and Roy de los Santos will be facing off in a month. Susan, thank you so much for your time. Have a great weekend. Hopefully, you're free sometime this week. That way, we can talk about the important matters that pertain to the city of Brownsville.
Gotcha.
Thank you so much, Susan, for your
All right.
time. Have a great night.
We'll see you guys. Bye.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for your time and your attention. I will be refreshing my my page like a madman and give you the results for election day. So again, the people have spoken resoundingly. How will the city of Brownsville look in the foreseeable future? We hope that the individuals that are currently in this contested races in a runoff do what's in the very best interest for the city of Brownsville. Congratulations to Mr. Gustavo de Leon on his victory. The people in District 3 came out in support of Mr. de Leon. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for your time and your attention. Make sure you tune into Good Morning Brownsville every day, Monday through Friday, same Batman time, same Batman channel, 9 a.m. We are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. If you subscribe to my page, you get access to OF, exclusive merchandise, and feet pics. Thank you so much for your time and your attention, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Election Day. Congratulations to all the candidates in wanting to represent the city of Brownsville. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. Have a great weekend. God bless.